I'm ashmail12.com, and in this video I'm going to show you how to allow users to have their own background image. Now this includes a image upload, which I have not done a check on to check whether it is an image. It's just a sort of file upload at the moment, so you will probably want to do a check just to make sure it is an image, JPEG, PNG, whatever images you want. You'd have to do that yourself. It's easy enough. It's just sub str type and get the last part of an array or something. I think I did a video on it sometime. And the second one is a URL, which I have. My last video was actually save images from a URL, so we're going to use that code from that. Right, so to get started, I just have a simple login box here which goes to the database, and if I log in, as you can see, we get logged in as, obviously we get an undefined username variable because I've not finished it off yet, and so just ignore this error at the moment, and then we get the log out, which will log back out. So if I just log back in again, so that's just a simple login page right there. So now what we need to do is actually get the data from the database. So get data from database. So we're going to create, well, first of all we're going to get the ID from the session. So you don't really need to do this on a session, but because you've set it, yourself, but it's just something I do anyway. So session ID, I'm using the I've put the ID into the session instead of the username, like in other videos I have used the username for the session, but in this I'm using ID, and I would encourage you to use ID as well, as it is a unique identifier basically. Like multiple people can have the same username technically, but no ID is the same, so that's a better way of identifying the user. So query mysql query, so we're going to select, we want to select the username and the BG image. So if I just show you the database, basically I have a simple users table, ID, username and password, and then I have BG image on the end of that, and also when a user registers, I've set n/a as the default value, so you'll see why I've put n/a later on, because we're going to change it back to when we change it. So you could have like 0 or something in there, but make sure you sort of, where I put in n/a, put your own whatever you've put in there. So just stick with n/a until you get the code running, and then you can modify it the way you want. Right, so from users where ID is equal to, and then we're going to concatenate the ID onto that. Obviously we need the concatenation. So while row is equal to mysql_fetch. Put the query in there. Okay, so we're going to get the username based on that ID. So row username, and we don't need the password, so it's just BG image. BG image. Right. Okay. So now that we've done that. Now that we've set this up, we've got the data from the database, we should be able to echo out the username logged in. So if I just refresh this page, there we go, logged in as Ash, and there we go, so that's all good. Right, so next we need to actually check if there's a background image set. So, and if there is, we want to set the image. So check if the user has a background set. Right, so we need to go if, this is what I'm saying about the n/a now, BG image doesn't equal n/a, then we need to echo out some JavaScript here, which I'm going to use jQuery, but you could probably use this during pure JavaScript if you know what you're doing. So we're going to echo out into the body tag. We're going to change the CSS. We want to change the background dash image, and we want to put in there the URL, and we need to is it backslash? Yeah, and we want to put in there the user backgrounds folder / and then we want to concatenate onto this. Actually, one sec. / I want it here, so concatenate the BG image onto there. Right. So if I just show you the structure I have up here, just so you can get an idea of where this user backgrounds folder is coming from. It's just like that. I have the index which we're working on, which I'm going to do all the code on. You might want to do something on different, like the uploads on a different page, but I'm just going to stick with one page. DBC you probably know, jQuery you know, login and logout you'd probably know, and here's the user backgrounds folder which contains nothing at the moment. Okay, so now that we've checked for that user, we want to get any uploads that the user might have uploaded already. So I'm going to do an echo out here and put this in strong tags, bold basically, and we'll do it on underlined as well. Underlined. So my current uploads. Okay, and then we need to get the ID length. And this is basically the str length of the ID. We need to get the ID length because we need to know how long we need to stop searching for in the file name. You'll understand what I mean once we get into the uploads bit mainly. I'm going to create a count called, well, not called, equal to 0. I'm going to create a for each loop which will loop through all the files in the directory. So scan dir will put all the files from the user backgrounds directory into an array, and then we can loop through that array as each image. So I'm going to create a variable called a, and that's sub str. There's no reason why I've named it a, it's just that there's no, I just really don't know what to call this. Image. We want to search in the image, and we want to start at 0 and end at the ID length. That's y. And then we can say if a is equal to ID. So if the number at the start of the file name is the same as the user's ID, then that is their image they've uploaded. So then we can echo out here ahref index.php. We can go in there and then change background equals, and then we're going to concatenate onto that the image concatenate onto that the image again, and then concatenate back on. You'd understand this a lot better somehow, and then we can do another one for the delete, so I can give them an option to delete. So ahref. So if we just basically copy this so we're not wasting too much time, we can change that to delete image, and then just change what's in here to delete. Alright, so And then outside the for each loop we need to increment the count. Well, not increment the count, I mean, but we need to do increment the count here, so count plus plus. So if count equals 0, then that means you have no upload, so it's not incremented anything. So we can echo you have no images uploaded. I'll do an else if bg image doesn't equal n/a, then we're going to reset the background. Well, we'll give them an option to reset the background. We're not going to reset the background, but basically if they have an image set as a background, then we're going to give them the option to reset the background back to just a white background, if you know what I mean. So index.php reset background. Okay, so let's see what we've got from this. Right, so you have no images uploaded. What I'm going to do is just put a break on the end of that, and we might want to put a break on the end of this as well, because then all the images will be on the same line. Right. Okay, so now refresh. We got that. You can't upload. You have no images uploaded. Okay, looking good so far. So now what we need to do is create an upload form so the user can actually upload images. So create the upload form. So echo let's put a break first on the first of that so we can get it down a line. Maybe do another one. Okay, so upload an image. Okay, so this should just bring it down 2 lines. So we have a line missing and then we have it there. Good. So then underneath this, we don't need to do that actually because we're working with forms. The form will go into a new line. So the form action, we'll go to index.php and then we're going to put upload image on there. The method is going to be post. There's a form off there. Okay, so import type is equal to file. The name of that one, just call it as file. We'll put a break on the end of that line as well. Okay, and then we're going to do strong or break off again, because we don't want to upload a URL and an image at the same time. So URL of image is input type, and that is going to be text. We'll make this a bit longer, so 50, and the name is going to be image URL. Put a break on into there, and then we need to enter a new name for the image. So input type is equal to text, and the name we'll just put as image URL name. Break it off again, and we'll put the upload button here. So input type is submit. We don't need a name, and the value can be upload. Okay, so let's see what we've got. There we go. So we can choose a file, or we can select we can type in a URL of an image and a name for that image. Right, so now we need to handle the uploads. So if dollar, well, is set first of all, dollar underscore get, I always do that, upload image. So if the user's, you know, gone to the form and clicked the upload button, first of all we need to do a check to see whether they have done both, basically, because we don't want them to upload an image and the URL. So what we can do is if dollar underscore files, file and size, so if the size doesn't equal 0 and not enter on the dollar underscore post image URL, so basically if a file size passed is bigger than 0, so meaning there is a file there, and not empty image URL, meaning that there is something, that there's some text containing within this variable, so there is something in both. So then we can just echo out and say cannot upload and select a URL at the same time. Else, so if they've only uploaded one, we need to do another check to see if it's a file or a URL. So once again we can just do if file doesn't equal 0. That's just a check you can do. You can do more if you want, or well, not more, like a different one. Image name is equal to something in a minute, but what I'm going to do is do an else. I'm just going to finish off this. Else if once again we can just use this. Else if not empty, and then we're going to just do an else here, just to, if it does get to there for some reason, we're just going to echo out error there. Right, so we're going to do the upload form first. So image name, we're going to do str underscore replace, because we want to get rid of any spaces within the image name that they might have put in there, because we don't want really to work with spaces when uploading. So we're going to search for spaces, we're going to replace it with nothing, and want to find it in the files file and the temporary name. Alright, so just name, and then we want to move the uploaded file, and we want to move dollar underscore files file, and we want to move the temporary named file. We want to move it to the user backgrounds folder, and we want to concatenate onto that the ID, and then a dash in between, and then the image name can go on there. Alright, and then we can just redirect back to the normal index.php, just to clear everything up. Alright, so now onto this one. First of all, we're going to get the raw image. File underscore get content. I'm just going to do MySQL underscore new. Actually, yeah, MySQL underscore real underscore escape underscore string can go in there. And then it's dollar underscore post the image URL. Okay, and then the image, once again, the image name we can just copy from up here. but then change this to $_post image URL name file _put contents. We want to put the contents into the user background folder. Once again, we're going to concatenate the ID onto there and concatenate a dash. MySQL _real string, because we're going to be putting the image name into there. You don't really need to do that, but it's just another precaution. Concatenate the file extension you want, so I'm going to use .jpeg, and all this is for the raw image. Okay, once again, header location index.php, and I've just noticed I didn't put location up here. Right, so that should be the upload code working. So if we just test this out, so give it a little refresh, click file to upload, I'm going to select this one, upload. Okay, we get an error, so we've got an error here because we come to that page. Hold on a second. I think I know why we're getting that, because we haven't put an enc type up here of multipart/form-data. Right, so let's try again. Come right back out, back to index. Okay, let's try again. Select this image, upload. There we go, perfect. And then we get the upload going into there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is stop the video here because we're getting on to 22 minutes, and I will see you in the next part.